"Chisom, get up!" Someone shouted from a distance, breaking him out of his trance. He tried to stand, but his legs felt heavy, as if they were being pulled down by an unseen force. Panic gripped him as he struggled to rise. The dark figures turned their heads toward him, their hollow eyes glowing with an unnatural light. He glanced around, shaken. Had anyone seen what he had? His friends rushed toward him, their faces pale with fear. "What did you see?" Keen asked, grabbing Chisom's arm. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the city of Umunkwo, Chisom gathered his resolve. He had spent the day gathering supplies, food, water, and a few items he thought might protect him against the spirits. He wore a simple but sturdy outfit, hoping it would help him blend into the surroundings of the Forbidden Quarter. "Are you ready?" Keen asked, looking worried. "It's dangerous to go there alone. We should come with you." Chisom shook his head. "I need to do this by myself. If I fail, I don't want you guys to get hurt." The weight of his decision pressed on him, but he couldn't let fear keep him from what he needed to do. His friends stood silent for a moment, their expressions a mix of admiration and concern. "Just promise to come back," Uche said, finally. "We'll be waiting." With a deep breath, Chisom set out towards the edge of the city, where the towering walls of the Forbidden Quarter loomed like a great beast. The air grew heavier as he approached, the sounds of the bustling market fading away, replaced by an unsettling silence. As he entered the Forbidden Quarter, a chill swept through the air. The buildings here were dilapidated and covered in creeping vines, their once bright colors faded into muted grays and browns. The paths twisted and turned, leading him deeper into the heart of darkness. Chisom recalled the elderly woman's words. He had to find the artifact that connected the living and the dead. But where would it be hidden? He wandered through narrow alleys and crumbling doorways, listening intently for any sign of the spirits. As night fell, he could see glowing eyes watching him from the shadows, whispering his name in a haunting chorus. He pressed on, fear bubbling in his stomach, but he was determined to find the artifact. Suddenly, he stumbled upon an old shrine, half buried in the ground. Symbols similar to those on the charm he had seen in the market adorned the crumbling walls. A feeling of recognition washed over him, and he knelt to examine the shrine more closely. "Is this it?" he whispered to himself. As he brushed away dirt and debris, his fingers grazed over a rough surface. It felt warm beneath his touch, pulsing with energy. He began to clear away more earth, revealing a small stone box intricately carved with the same symbols he had seen earlier. With trembling hands, he opened the box, and a blinding light erupted from within. Chisom shielded his eyes, and when he dared to look again, he found a small amulet nestled inside, a glimmering orb suspended in a delicate silver chain. "This must be the artifact," he gasped, feeling a surge of hope. But before he could react, the whispers grew louder, transforming into anguished screams. Shadows swirled around him, and he could feel the spirits closing in. With the artifact clutched tightly in his hand, Chisom felt a rush of power and fear. He could sense the spirits around him, their energy crackling in the air. They emerged from the shadows, a swirling mass of darkness, their hollow eyes fixated on him with anger and desperation. "Chisom!" One of them screeched, its voice echoing in his mind. "You dare disturb our resting place?" Chisom took a step back, trying to steady his racing heart. I came to make things right. I didn't mean to awaken you. Please, I just want to understand." The spirits laughed, a chilling sound that sent shivers down his spine. "You cannot understand what you have awakened. You are nothing but a foolish boy who seeks to defy the ancient ways." The lead spirit, a towering figure with glowing eyes, stepped forward, its presence suffocating. "You have brought darkness upon your people. They will suffer for your arrogance." "No!" Chisom shouted, raising the amulet. "I have this. It can help us." The spirits recoiled for a moment, their eyes darting to the glowing amulet. "That artifact is a curse as much as it is a blessing. You cannot wield it without facing the consequences." "What consequences?" Chisom demanded, desperation creeping into his voice. "What must I do to free us from this?" The lead spirit let out a low growl, its voice laced with disdain. To wield the artifact, you must pass the trials of the Forbidden Quarter. Only then will you prove yourself worthy. Fail, and the darkness will consume not just you, but all of Umunkwo. Chisom swallowed hard, determination flooding his veins. I will face your trials. I will do whatever it takes to protect my village. With a flick of its wrist, the lead spirit summoned shadows that twisted into a pathway before him. Very well. Your first trial begins now. Chisom took a deep breath and stepped onto the shadowy path, leaving the spirits behind. The air shimmered as the world around him shifted, transporting him to a different realm, one filled with ominous trees, swirling mist, and an eerie silence that seemed to stretch on forever. Before him stood a labyrinth made of dark stone, towering walls that seemed to close in around him. Chisom could feel the weight of the spirits pressing down on him, and he took a deep breath, steeling himself for the challenge ahead. As he entered the labyrinth, he heard the whispers of the spirits echoing in the distance. Find your way through the maze, Chisom. But beware, the shadows will test your resolve. Navigating through the labyrinth proved to be more difficult than he anticipated. Each turn he took led to more twists and dead ends, and the whispers grew louder, taunting him with his failures. At times, he swore he could see shadowy figures darting between the walls, watching his every move. Just keep moving, he told himself, focusing on the sound of his footsteps echoing in the silence. After what felt like hours, he finally stumbled upon a dimly lit chamber at the heart of the labyrinth. In the center stood a stone pedestal, and upon it lay a glowing orb, a fragment of the amulet he had seen in the shrine. Its light pulsed rhythmically, resonating with a power he had never felt before. This must be a part of the artifact, he exclaimed, rushing toward it. But as he reached out to grab it, shadows surged from the walls, forming into dark figures that lunged at him. Chisom's heart raced as he dodged their grasp, the whispers growing louder, filling his mind with doubt. You are not worthy. You will fail. No. Chisom shouted defiantly. I won't let you win. Drawing on his courage, he focused on the light of the orb, envisioning the warmth and strength it held. As he grasped it, he felt a surge of energy course through him, illuminating the dark chamber. The shadows shrieked in anger, retreating from the light. With newfound strength, Chisom held the orb high, and the chamber began to transform. The walls of the labyrinth shifted, opening up paths that led him back to the entrance. The whispers faded, replaced by a quiet resolve. As Chisom emerged from the labyrinth, he found himself standing before a vast clearing. In the center stood a grand tree, its branches reaching toward the sky, adorned with shimmering lights that danced like fireflies. At the base of the tree sat an ancient figure, cloaked in layers of tattered robes. Welcome, Chisom, the figure said, its voice deep and resonant. I am the keeper of secrets, and your second trial begins now. What do I have to do? Chisom asked, his heart pounding. To gain the wisdom you seek, you must answer my riddle, the keeper replied, leaning forward, eyes glinting with mystery. Fail, and you shall remain here forever, trapped in the shadows of your own ignorance. Chisom nodded, feeling the weight of the challenge. The keeper spoke the riddle. I have keys but open no locks. I have space but no room. You can enter but cannot go outside. What am I? Chisom thought hard, recalling tales from the village about clever wordplay and riddles. He closed his eyes, envisioning the keeper's words and the concepts behind them. A computer, he blurted out, feeling proud of his answer. The keeper chuckled softly, shaking his head. No, young one. Think beyond the realm of your world. Chisom's heart sank, but he refused to give up. He paced around the tree, contemplating. Keys, space. You can enter but cannot go outside. Suddenly, it hit him. A keyboard, he exclaimed, but then he quickly corrected himself. No. A phone. It has keys, space, and you can enter but cannot go outside. The keeper's expression turned contemplative. You are close, but still not right. Consider the nature of your own life and the secrets you hold within. With that hint, the pieces fell into place. A mind, he shouted, his excitement bubbling. It has keys of knowledge, but can't unlock anything physically. It has space for thoughts, but no actual room. The keeper's eyes glimmered with approval, and a faint smile crossed his ancient face. You have answered correctly, Chisom. The mind indeed holds the keys to understanding and enlightenment. As the words left the keeper's lips, the ground beneath Chisom trembled, and roots from the great tree wrapped around him, lifting him slightly off the ground. With your answer, you have proven your worthiness. Now, take this gift, the keeper said, extending a hand that held a shimmering crystal. Chisom accepted the crystal, feeling a warm energy emanating from it. What is this? He asked, curiosity sparkling in his eyes. This crystal will grant you clarity and insight in your final trial, the keeper explained. It will illuminate the truth hidden in the shadows of your heart. With a grateful nod, Chisom pocketed the crystal and thanked the keeper. As the keeper faded back into the shadows of the tree, Chisom felt a wave of determination wash over him. He was closer to unraveling the mystery of the spirits and saving his village. The landscape shifted once more, and Chisom found himself standing before an ominous cave. The entrance loomed like a gaping mouth, darkness swirling inside as if beckoning him to enter. The air was thick with tension, and he could hear the whispers of the spirits growing louder, echoing from within. Your final trial lies within, a voice whispered from the depths of the cave. It was the lead spirit, its tone a mix of anger and anticipation. Face your greatest fear, Chisom, and only then will you have the power to wield the artifact. Taking a deep breath, Chisom stepped into the cave, his heart pounding in his chest. The darkness enveloped him, and he instinctively reached for the glowing amulet he had found, its light guiding his way. As he ventured deeper, the cave twisted and turned, revealing visions of his past, memories that haunted him. He saw himself as a child, bullied and ridiculed, feeling powerless and alone. The whispers echoed louder, taunting him, reminding him of the times he had been rejected and felt unworthy. Is this all you are? The voices sneered. A boy trapped in his own fears? Chisom felt a knot form in his stomach. He wanted to shout back, to tell them he was more than his past. Gathering his courage, he clutched the crystal tightly in his hand, feeling its warmth seep into him. No. I am stronger than you think, he declared, his voice ringing out in the cavern. I have faced my fears, and I will not be defined by them. With that proclamation, the shadows shifted, and a bright light erupted from the crystal. It illuminated the cave, revealing the true form of the lead spirit, a once great warrior, now twisted and darkened by resentment. Face me, Chisom, the spirit roared, transforming into a massive figure, a swirling mass of darkness and rage. Only by defeating me can you reclaim the light. With determination, Chisom summoned the power of the amulet and the crystal, allowing their energy to flow through him. The ground shook as he faced the spirit, feeling the surge of strength coursing through him. Your darkness will not win, he shouted, channeling all his fear and anger into a single beam of light. He released it, and the cave erupted in a blinding flash. The light clashed with the spirit's darkness, illuminating the cave in a dazzling display. Chisom felt the power of his friends and the villagers behind him, their belief in him igniting a flame within. He pushed forward, channeling all his pain and struggles into the light. The lead spirit roared, struggling against the brightness. You cannot defeat me. I am the embodiment of all the pain you've ever felt. Maybe, but I refuse to let you control me. Chisom shouted back, his voice steady and unwavering. I will use my pain to fuel my strength. With one final surge of energy, Chisom unleashed the light, breaking through the darkness. The cave filled with a brilliant glow, enveloping the spirit and shattering the chains of its own making. The lead spirit screamed, its form twisting and contorting as the light consumed it. For a moment, time seemed to stand still, and Chisom felt an overwhelming sense of peace wash over him. The darkness dissipated, revealing a serene spirit before him, one that radiated warmth and compassion. Thank you, Chisom, the spirit said, its voice softer now. I was lost in my own rage, unable to see the light. You have freed me. Chisom took a step back, his heart racing. What will happen now? You have passed the trials and proven your worth, the spirit replied, its eyes now filled with gratitude. The artifact you seek is now yours to wield. Use it wisely, for it holds the power to connect the realms of the living and the dead. The spirit extended its hand, revealing the amulet's final piece, glowing with an ethereal light. Chisom reached out and took it, feeling the energy surge through him once more. Emerging from the cave, Chisom found himself back in the clearing beneath the grand tree. The keeper awaited him, a knowing smile gracing his face. "You have done well, Chisom. The spirits of umunkwo will no longer haunt you." Chisom looked down at the amulet, now whole and pulsing with energy. "What should I do with it?" "The power you hold is not just for yourself," the keeper said. "You must use it to heal your village, to restore balance between the living and the spirits." With newfound purpose, Chisom nodded. "I will do that. I promise." As he turned to leave, the keeper called out, "Remember, the light within you is stronger than any darkness you will face. Trust in it, and it will guide you." With those words echoing in his mind, Chisom made his way back to umunkwo. The air felt different now, lighter and filled with promise. He could already hear the laughter of children in the distance and the bustling sounds of the market returning to life. When he arrived, he found his friends waiting for him, their faces filled with concern and relief. "We were worried," Uche exclaimed, rushing to hug him. "I'm okay," Chisom reassured them, holding up the amulet. "I did it. I completed the trials and freed the spirits. We can finally have peace." His friends gasped in awe, eyes wide with disbelief. "You really did it?" Keen asked, stepping closer to examine the amulet. "Yes. Now we can use this to protect our village," Chisom declared, feeling a swell of pride. Together, they shared their plans to use the amulet's power to create a connection with the spirits, ensuring that no darkness would ever plague umunkwo again. Days turned into weeks, and the village flourished as Chisom and his friends used the power of the amulet. They established a bond with the spirits, allowing them to share their wisdom and stories, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would never be repeated. Chisom had grown into a leader, guiding his village with compassion and understanding. He often recalled the trials he faced and the lessons learned. His bond with his friends deepened as they stood together against any challenges that arose. One evening, as the sun set over umunkwo, painting the sky in hues of orange and purple, Chisom gathered his friends beneath the great tree in the clearing. "We've come so far together," he said, his voice steady. "But we must remember the power we hold. The amulet is a symbol of our connection to the past, but it is our actions that will define our future." As they shared stories and laughter, the spirits watched over them, their energy intertwined with the villagers, protecting umunkwo for generations to come. Chisom felt a sense of peace and belonging, knowing that darkness would never again threaten the light of their community. The legacy of courage, friendship, and understanding became the guiding force for umunkwo, a tale of triumph that would be passed down through the ages, a reminder that even in the face of darkness, the light within them could overcome anything. This marks the end of Chisom's journey, but the spirit of his adventure will forever linger in the hearts of those he touched, illuminating the path for many to follow. Please don't forget to subscribe for more interesting stories.